thought of age or nothing. I just feel timeless, basically. And I walk 5 days a week with a walking partner who's actually older than I am. She's 91. She's exercised her whole life, tiny little lady and full of energy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Expand Love Show. Today, we have an amazing guest, Mimi Kirk. I'm sure you know about her. She is 83 years old. It's morning in India, and I tell you, I got her on the show over here. She has much more energy and enthusiasm that I have in the morning at my age. And I am so excited to talk to her because I would love to share her experience with you and myself. Good morning. Okay, it's not good morning over there, but hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for bringing in so much energy and vibrance to my morning and day and to the channel. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so nice of you to, but you probably get up very early where you are, right?
Yeah, but like anything for amazing people like you.
Thank you.
So you were just sharing about your day, how you spend your day and what all you do. So would you like to share that with the audience so that they can get a spark of your energy as well?
Sure. A lot of age or nothing. I just feel timeless, basically. And I walk 5 days a week with a walking partner who's actually older than I am. She's 91. She's exercised her whole life, tiny little lady and full of energy. This morning she was a little slower, didn't feel good, but normally she's just spunky as anything. So we walk for about 4 to 5 miles every day. I walk a little further than her. And then I came home and I can't wait to start painting, which is something new I've been doing, actually a new career in my 80s. And I just had a little book sale on my Juice book, which is really a timeless book, fantastic book. And so I was autographing those books and getting those sent out today. So painting and taking care of people with my books because I know it's so good for them. I mean, it's an amazing, wonderful day. That's all I have to say. I'm so thrilled to be here and to have my health, my good health, which is not my family's health history, but since I take care of myself and I pay attention and eat well and think positive, it really has made a difference for me to wake up every day at 83, 84 this year in a few months and feel the way I do. I feel like a young girl, but when I pass a mirror, then I go, oh my God, who is that? Then I see the change, but the way I feel here is very young. That's what we have to look at, the inside of ourselves, so.
Well, I would say you look quite young, radiant, and beautiful as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So what is the secret of your vibrance and health? If you had to share it with the people, you said positive mindset as well as food, but like elaborate it.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think that food is really important. My family's health history is not great. And when I was in my late 60s, my cholesterol was high and my blood pressure was high. And the doctor gave me a prescription. Well, I've been into health foods for most of my life, since I'm 30, basically. And I go off once in a while. I've been a vegan and I go off once in a while. And I had gained weight. I went for a checkup and he gives me this prescription. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going to fill that because my family's health history is not good and they take a lot of medication. So I went home and I started checking on the internet what's there, and raw food kept coming up. And I thought to myself, no, I'm just not going to eat salad. I love to cook, so I'm not going to just eat salads and stuff. But the more I read about it, I thought, well, I should give it a try at least before I fill this prescription. So I went on a raw food diet, juicing and salads and making up recipes on my own because I didn't see anything I liked out there. I made lasagnas and pastas and anything I wanted, I figured out how to make it. The first 2 weeks, it was like, oh my God, I feel so good. My eyes look brighter. I felt great. So in a few months, I went back to my doctor and he said, oh, these pills are working great. Your blood pressure and your cholesterol's down. And I said, I never took the pills. And he said, what? Well, what did you eat? What did you do? And I said, it's what I ate. And I said, how come you don't tell people to change their diet? And he said, because people are lazy. they don't want to do things sometimes, even though they know they should. And I just try to keep people alive. So I tell them to get the drug. They even ask for it. Give me medication. So a lot of people think that way. Just give me the medication and I'll take it. But I was able to do it without any medication. And I started to feel great. And I knew that's the way I wanted to eat. So for about 12 years, I was a strict raw vegan. I wrote 7 recipe books, all in my 70s. And I ate all this vegan food. And I exercised very little at the time. I really didn't like exercise, but I had a very positive outlook. I really think that when you're positive, you draw more positivity to you. And if you're negative, that's energy and you draw that to you. So positivity has been something that has been with me for my lifetime, I guess. And then now I eat some cooked vegan food. I'm still vegan, but I eat some cooked vegan food and I can eat what I want. My weight stays the same. I don't go up. I don't go down really except a couple pounds and I stay the same, which is a good weight. And I feel just amazing. And so I think those are 2 very important things. Now I have added exercise in the last few years. And I wish I would have done that earlier. I really do, because now I know how important the exercise is. Walking, if you do nothing else, walking is so important. And I was doing Pilates up until the pandemic. And then I didn't want to do Pilates indoors anymore. So I just walk. I'm up and down stairs in my house. My art studio's downstairs. So I'm up down those stairs several times a day and up to the bedroom several times a day and up to the rooftop. And so I get lots of movement in. And my body is in pretty good shape for my age. And I feel amazing. Really do. So that's what I can say. I think juicing is one of the main things to do, because you've got to get enough fruits and vegetables into your body. You need the nutrients from plant-based food. Fruits are good. People worry about sugar, but it's a natural thing. So your body processes it properly. When I make a juice, I mix that with some fruit, but a lot of greens. I think dark leafy greens are very important. And you seem to be satiated and your body needs the nutrients. And how are you going to get them in if you don't at least make a juice, a big green juice every day? Because you can't chew enough salad throughout the day to get everything. So fresh juices that you make yourself, or smoothies with all those with all the greens and celery and cucumber and an apple, maybe some pineapple, all of that is really, really healthy for you. And I always say health is wealth. If you don't have health when you get older, so what? You can't do anything. Well, your life is fun. You're sitting in doctor's offices. You can't travel. You don't feel up to doing it. So you want to wake up feeling good, and you have to put some work into doing it. And once you start, honestly, it's very easy. It's not a difficult thing to switch over. You have to just start loving yourself and doing what you feel is good for your body, and put yourself first in some ways. I mean, everybody's got families and people to take care of and look after, especially women have that going, but you still have to take care of yourself. And so you need to care enough about yourself to change your diet if it's not good, lose weight if you're carrying too much around, and start either meditating or do something to keep yourself positive. So that's basically that's the general gist of my life.
Yeah. So what age were you at when you turned into a raw vegan?
69.
Wow.
So it's too late. Now, I became a vegetarian when I was 30, and I didn't really know what a vegan was. You know, I did it because of the animals. It was strictly compassion. I was widowed at 29. I started meditating, and I realized everything was energy and everything was connected. And then it was like, what? I'm eating animals, live animals. I thought one day I took a bite of some meat, and I took a bite of the back of my ham, and I went, oh, this is flesh. So it just turned me off. My kids were young. I'm the mother of 4. My kids were young. And I came home and I said, we are going to be what's called vegetarians, and we're not going to eat animals anymore. And they went, yay, no animals. They were, they didn't know what it was, but they were happy. We weren't going to eat animals. They didn't put it together, which most people don't. And animals are not treated well. They don't want their lives to be taken. Their families, they're sensitive. All animals, cows, very sensitive, chickens, all of it. So who needs it? There's enough plant-based food out there, especially today. It's easy to find, easy to make, everything. And that's what changed me at that point. so I went off a couple times during there. I would go back at a hamburger and I went, oh no, I can't do that anymore. Then I stopped. And then it was like, I think I need to be vegan. So I got rid of all my leather. I started to understand that even wearing leather and anything that would harm an animal was not good. So that changed my life. That was in my early 30s. And then I was a vegetarian and a vegan after that. And I really didn't go back to eating any meat until I met my boyfriend, which was a little over 20 years ago. I met him when I was 64 and he was 45. There's a 20 years age difference. We're still together, by the way.
Wow, beautiful.
And oh wait, I disappeared from here.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
No
Are
worries
you
at all.
back? Oh,
Yes,
sorry. I think
no
someone
worries
called and it
at all.
disconnected us. Shall I just pick up from where I was?
It's all good, man.
Okay.
Yes,
So anyway,
yes.
I started cooking for my boyfriend, and he ate everything at the time. And I was cooking all this food for him, and I was eating the same food. And we were going together. And then I sent him home with food because my mother told me the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And since he was 20 years younger, I thought I better cook for him. And then that's when
Yeah.
I started. That's when I realized that I couldn't do that anymore. And I had to go back. And that's when I went to my doctor and found out. So I was 69 at the time. And so it's never too late. That's one thing I want to say. And of course, it's never too early. And whenever you,
Yeah.
whenever you start, that's the time that you should be doing it. And so I know there's a lot of older people, and they say, it's too late. It is never too late. If you don't do anything as you age, it's not going to get better. You have to actually work at it as you age. Every decade brings new surprises, new wrinkles, new things you have to deal with, the things you didn't know were going to happen. I mean, I had no idea what this age would feel like. I had, we all think, oh my God, when I get 30, I'm going to be so old. Or when I get 50, oh, it's all over after that. Let me say, it's just beginning. And I feel I'm just beginning. There isn't anything that I feel I can't do. There isn't any hopes or dreams that I think I can't fulfill, even at this
Wow.
age. So, and I know that comes from having good health. Just imagine when you get sick, what you feel like. And if that's what your life was like as you got older, it would be depressing. You would feel badly. And even if you get something, even if you get a disease or you get something, you just have to deal with it in the most positive way you can, because everything teaches you something new. Life is just a lesson every single day. You change, everything around you changes. The world is changing so fast right now. But if you can just look at things and say, what is the solution to this problem? This is a challenge, not a problem. I can figure this out. If you do that with anything, you can figure it out. I always say you can Google anything and change your life. Google's got everything. You want to know how to do something or make something or whatever. If you want to be a dancer, start dancing. Don't just say, oh, I'll wait until I can actually get a job dancing. Just dance. If you want to be a writer, start writing. If you want to be a chef, start cooking for people. If you want to be an artist, just start painting. You have to do what you want to be. You can't get there by praying or working or just saying, oh, bring this to me. You have to take the steps forward. So you have to find what you really want out of your life, and don't wait. Do it. Don't think you can do it later. Just start doing it and be conscious about it in the moment. Am I doing the things that I love? Am I bringing the right people around me that I need to bring around me? What are you attracting to your life? If you're attracting negativity, don't blame that on the outside elements. You have to think about there's something you're doing to attract that. Take responsibility for everything in your life. It changes as soon as you do that, and you think the positive things. You're just going to see how everything around you comes together. And also, when you do what you love, everything comes together. When you've got a job you don't like, or you're living with someone you don't want to live with, and you're doing things you don't like, you're not opening up any doors for your future. And so that's very important. So you can't just do one thing. It really is body, mind, and soul. I think you have to take care of all the areas. We're so lucky to have this we're in a body, this flesh that we have. What an exciting thing that is just in itself, that we have this to do things with. So I think you can manifest things in your life. You can manifest what you want. I coach a lot of people, and I really see that so many people have negative things about themselves that they've dragged around since childhood, and they play that they're victimized about a lot of things in their life. But I believe you can change those things. I think you have to figure out where it is that you need to change what you don't like. Don't have to carry it around just because it's something you got from your parents. You can change what you don't like. You really can. So that's my kind of philosophy in life.
Wow. Do you follow any practices for being so positive? Or maybe you could also tell me that do you have any inspiring people who put you on this path? You remind me of Louise Hay so much. Do you know about Louise Hay?
Oh yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
exactly like her.
I was a fan of hers. I was, when she was being that, I was feeling that. I'll tell you what changed me. Okay, so now I got married at 17. I was widowed at 29, 4 kids. I was really quite not a strong person or confident person at the time. I thought when I grew up, we were told you get married or you become a secretary. Those are the 2 choices I had in the 50s. That was it.
Wow.
No, my mother didn't think women, could do anything else than that, maybe work in the store or something, but it was either get married or that. Well, I did get married, but it wasn't because of didn't want to be a secretary. It's just that I fell in love at 17 and we got married. So then everything was there. I had a husband there. I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, and then he was killed in a plane crash. And I had my kids to support myself. Well, that pulled me together. And I said, listen, I have to do something to support my family. There was no insurance. There was nothing. I had to just figure out what was I going to do. We had debt. I had to pay that off and everything. And those kinds of incidences made me very strong. Who I am today comes from challenges in my life that I had to overcome. So shortly after he passed away, I heard about meditation, and someone told me to go meditate, and I started doing that. And another world came to me from that, the inner world. I connected with my soul. I connected with something spiritual, which I never had before. It really took me into, there was another place inside me, and I would have all these visions and things would be happening, and they weren't places I'd been before, but I would see things that I never saw before. And I thought, maybe this is my other lives coming to play. And those kinds of things really helped me believe in life in general and the afterlife in general. I do believe in reincarnation. Some people don't, but for me, I had my experiences that made me feel that was a possibility. That's what could be. So I knew I've always been here. And all these things started to make me stronger. And I think that was a big part for me. I've always been a positive person, and I've had strength. Even I remember when I was a young kid, I just remember wanting to do things for people. And I've always tried to have work that I did that made a difference in people's lives. For some reason, that was always important to me. I didn't want to do something useless. I wanted to make a difference. Now that just came to me. I came in with that, maybe. I don't know. I'm very different than the rest of my family. So I'm not really sure, but I think meditation changed a lot. I think it's a very good thing for people, because if you're not quiet long enough, you can't find out who you really are. You're caught up in the outer world so much. And when you pull yourself away from that and have time to reflect, I think that's a great thing. I think that you need to spend time alone every week, even if you have a mate. You need to spend romantic time with that person, date time with that person. You need to have a couple of days that's just for yourself, where you sit and be mindful eating. When you watch your food, you think about your food, you bless your food, you know what you're eating, you eat slowly and you chew, and you have a whole relationship with a meal. And people don't have time to do that, especially if they're eating with other people. So a couple of days a week, I think that's good. And then, of course, you need to be with your friends. That's another good thing. You need to be with your girlfriends alone, and your mate maybe needs to be with their boyfriend or girlfriend alone. I don't mean another girlfriend. I mean, in case you're a woman and you have another woman. I didn't mean that they should have another girlfriend. I mean, some people that's okay, but not for me. But I wanted to clarify that. So, and then you meet with friends together that are mutual friends. And I think that makes a nice full week. And you're not expecting one person to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. You know what you like better than anyone else. You know that, when you get in your bathtub and you can sit and soak in there, that makes you feel great. No one else could do that for you. So you have to find out the things that you love that you can do for yourself, and take care of that body. Feed yourself nutritious food, drink your juices, eat your fruits. Whatever makes you feel good, make yourself happy. Don't wait for someone else to do it. And then you're not expecting something from somebody. And it doesn't mean that, I think it brings a relationship closer when you don't expect everything from the other person and that you feel self-sufficient. I'm very independent even today. My boyfriend's always saying, don't lift that, let me lift it. And I'll go, no, this one's okay, but no, don't lift that one. That one's too heavy for you. You know, I just try to figure out to be as independent as I can, because as you get older, it's a very important thing to make sure that you can take care of yourself in every way whatsoever. So I've been independent since I'm 30, let's say, since I was first married and then widowed. I've been very independent from then. And I also started to appreciate myself, which I never thought was okay, because I thought, my mother said, you're not supposed to brag about yourself. Even if you do something good, you're not supposed to acknowledge that. Well, that's what we were taught early on. And I taught my kids the opposite. Give yourself a pat on the back every time you do something good. Recognize when you do something good. It's okay to say, hey, I'm good at this, and maybe not so good at that, but I do this really well. Everybody's got things they do well and that they don't do well. And I think you have to acknowledge yourself and not be shy about that. It's okay. It's not egotistical. It's energy. It's just setting out energy. So I think women are amazing today because they have that. Women today, in my day, didn't have that. So women today, I think, are just more independent. They just know a lot more about how to take care of themselves. My granddaughters are just so good at that. I learn a lot from them on self-care. So I think that's really good. And I think you have to accept yourself as you age and look at yourself and say, oh, yeah, I got wrinkles. Well, okay. I don't want to get any face work or anything. Some people do, but I just choose to be myself and love who I am and appreciate I'm here, I'm here and healthy. That's the important thing to me. So.
Wow. Beautiful. So meditation is the key takeaway, and just like spending time with yourself and connecting with your inner self is what you were saying keeps you so positive. And
yes,
of course, the challenges of life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a little side question in between, which I missed for my viewers. How long have you been vegan? How many years?
Well, I started when I was 30 to be a vegetarian at 30.
Yeah.
And then shortly after I became vegan, I went off and on a couple times during that time, not for very long periods, short periods. And the one I mentioned with my boyfriend, when I was first with him for a couple of years, 2.5 years or something. And then I went off it. But the rest of the time, I really have been vegan and eating pretty healthy. Once you do it, once you make the change, it doesn't seem like you're missing anything, because I love to prepare food. I love to cook. I'm a trained chef, so a plant-based chef, and I love to prepare food, and I enjoy it so much, and it tastes better to me. I have no desire to eat any meat. I don't feel I'm missing anything. If I go to a restaurant with friends, I always order things that I want, and it's always healthy, salads and stuff. It's vegetables, and I'm not missing anything. I don't try to tell people, why are you eating meat? I don't bug anybody at the table. People have to do what they do. But for me, this is what I want to eat. And I don't feel uncomfortable. I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm social. I can't do that. I just can't go out and not eat meat or something. And I said, who's looking at your plate? That's just you thinking that. No one cares what you eat. They're all concerned what they're going to be eating. That's all. So no, I never miss any of that. And when I have parties, I fix all the vegan food. And at some point I have fixed, I have bought something else like shrimp or something for someone else who's coming, but I never touch that myself. And I don't really have that in the house. It's just not my food in my house. And now, of course, my boyfriend eats that way. He didn't, but when I told him I didn't want to cook meat anymore, I said, oh, fine, I love vegetables. He had no problem turning over and eating this way. So that made me happy. It makes it easier when somebody is that way. But even if he wasn't, I wasn't going to eat it anymore. And I wasn't going to cook it anymore. So since he doesn't cook, he figured he better eat what I'm fixing. or he's not going to eat,
Wow. Amazing. So first maybe you could tell, what is it that, is your day like with respect to food? What are your meals like, and what time do you eat? Do you do some intermittent fasting? If you could share.
Yes, I like intermittent fasting and intermediate fasting. I think that's very healthy, which means I eat early and I don't eat until the next day, until later. So I'm honestly, my eating habits have come where I want to eat dinner by 4:30, and then the rest of the night I don't eat anything, and then I don't eat until maybe 11 or something. So that's intermittent fasting for me. that's good to not have food in my stomach at that length of time. And I'm not hungry when I first get up in the morning. And my first thing is to go take a shower and get my walking clothes on and go out the door. So I don't really want anything. My partner and I stop and we have some green tea somewhere and water before we come back home. We drink a lot of water and green tea. And I drink a lot of herbal teas, cold herbal teas that I make. I have a tea book out. And all it is putting the herbal teas into purified water and putting it in the refrigerator. No boiling, organic and no boiling. And then in the morning, the tea has saturated the water. You take that out and you've got this flavored water for the day. Mint is great for that. That's so good. That's one of my favorite things for summer, to have that tea, or all day. It's in place of water, basically. And the herbs are just full of nutrients. In my books, I tell what they are for, what the herbs are for, what they're healing for, and everything. So it's really good to make it a cold brew tea, is what I call it. And so I have that every day. I try to drink cold brew tea. I've got a mint one going now. So I'll make a big mason jar of the mint tea water, and then I drink that throughout the day with other water. So then breakfast could be, sometimes I make a granola and I put a little vegan yogurt on it and some fruit, and I'll have that for a breakfast, which is delicious. One of my books called Raw Vitalize has tons of breakfasts, mango pudding, something called apple sunrise. It takes very little equipment. You have a food processor, that's good. If you don't, a knife is good. And it's just kind of chopped up apples and some nut butter, like almond butter or something, and that mixed into that thing. And it sounds like it's a nothing thing. And you throw a little blackberries or blueberries in it. It's delicious breakfast. So those are the kinds of breakfast. Chia pudding, almond milk with chia seeds and some fruit in it. Those are my favorite breakfasts. And then sometimes, depending on if I had my juice already, I'm too full to eat at lunch, and then I'll eat that early dinner. So sometimes I'm just eating 2 meals. And when I eat another meal at lunchtime, it's normally a big salad, because I love salads. Kale is my favorite food, I think. And I make all kinds of good dressings on it. I love an avocado every day or every other day, because that's good fat to have an avocado. And yeah, that's the kind of things. I love to eat mangoes. Those are a snack for me, like an in-between snack, or apple and peanut butter, nut butter sometime, peanut butter sometime. And yeah, and then my dinners, now that I eat some cooked food, I might have some steamed vegetables. I love Asian type of things. And I never ate tofu for a really long time, but now I eat organic tofu on occasion, and I'll saute that. And I make nori rolls with seaweed. I think seaweed's very good for you. So things like that I eat. And then if I want to be a little fancier, I make zucchini pasta or a zucchini lasagna. And it has layers and layers with mushrooms and black olives and great fresh tomato, red pepper sauce, and some pesto. And then I'll layer that up with thin sliced zucchini, and it's just like a lasagna. So my recipe books, I'm so proud of them. They are timeless and evergreen. Those recipes are not going anywhere, because it's nature's food. Like when you go to the supermarket and you look at all that colored food, that's what I make my meals out of. And summer, I have a lot of gazpacho soup I make with, and then I put an apple in it for it to sweeten it a little bit with red peppers and tomatoes and stuff. I have so much great meals that I'm very, very satisfied with them. And, I chop up zucchini and avocado and cucumber, make a salad with that, and some cherry tomatoes, always making different dressings. There's so much to eat, hot food or cold food. And I fix food for company, and nobody misses meat at the table. There's so many elegant dishes that you can fix that's raw and vegan, or cooked vegan food. That's just fantastic. So yeah, I have no trouble making delicious food. But I eat simply, I must say. I don't eat too much heavy food, but sometimes I want that, or when someone's coming over, I'll make some more nut-based dishes. But I like to keep it pretty simple. And recently, because in the pandemic, I was making 3 meals a day. I got so tired of cooking. I never thought I'd ever say that. It's like, I don't want to make another meal. I don't want to send out for food. I don't care about eating anymore. I'm so tired of cooking and cleaning for 3 meals a day for like 2 years, whatever the pandemic was. And I was careful not to go out and stay away from everything. And And then I said, oh, I got to get another hobby. I got to do something. So then I started painting. And then I fell in love with my painting and my canvases and my brushes. And so I'd rather paint than eat. So when I'm down in my studio, I just paint for hours on end. And then I'll come up and grab something, a little snack of some kind. So maybe I'm eating 2 or 3 meals a day. But in the recipe books, there's plenty of food. My one book, I'll talk about that because I think when someone's starting out, it's a 21-day kind of a revitalize. We call it raw vitalize, but it's a way to start tasting good, healthy foods for 21 days and understand that you can learn how to make those so simply. So people use it for weight loss. They use it for just training themselves to go on a better diet, to eat a more vegan food. And it's just a great book. I wrote it with my daughter. And my other books are maybe a little more complicated, but they're you want some of that food. If this is the way you're going to eat, you want some of the fancier stuff. Very simple, very, very nothing from the dehydrator, which is in my first book, which is great for cookies and crackers and stuff like that. But this is a very simple book. Everything is very fast to make. It's got a shopping list. It's easy for you to exchange one meal for the other, but it's 21 days of breakfast, lunch, and dinner and some snacks. Really good book, Raw Vitalize. And then the juice book, of course, you can live on juices. You can have a detox for a week, or 3 days, 2 days, whatever. It's very good to let your body rest and make some of these juices. And so in that book, I have different types of ways to detox and what you should be detoxing for different things. So I'm really proud of my books. I work really hard on them, and I think they really help people make the change. And I just feel there's no reason why people can't do this. I think we need to be vegans. I really do. I think the planet needs it. I think we need not to be cruel to animals. We need to change. I know this sounds funny, but because I don't eat animals, I feel different inside. It makes me feel very different inside. Happy that I'm not harming any animals. I'm not killing so I can eat. And I know people say, well, when you pull the carrots out of the ground, you're killing them, but it's a little different from, I think everything is alive. It's true. And a lot of people who eat fruit because they don't want to do any of that. They just want the fruit that falls off the trees. And I think that's really great. I feel like I need more than just that, but I think people who just eat mostly fruit, lots of bananas, lots of pineapples, I think that's fine if that's what their body is doing. And everybody is different. Every physical body is different. And you have to find out what works for you. It's not the same for everybody, but if you have enough recipes to pull from, you can start to tell what makes you feel good, what gives you energy, what you love the taste of, and you start to create food yourself. I think it's very artistic and very, very creative to cook this kind of food. It's not like, we all grew up with the food our family ate, which was very different. I grew up with a standard American diet, which is meat and potatoes and a vegetable. And this is before all the packaged food was out there like it is now, but people could just go out and buy everything frozen or everything in a package and come home and heat it up. They don't cook. And I just think you're missing out on taking care of your body well. So you can be a vegan and still eat junk. I mean, it's out there. If you don't want to be a healthy vegan, that's easy to do. But why not just, when I look at a red sweet pepper, one of those beautiful big red peppers, and you take a bite of that, that is so good. I mean, you can cut that in half and take the seeds out or leave them in and just fill other vegetables in there and just eat that like a sandwich would be or something. And it's so flavorful and delicious. So yeah, I love that kind of food. That's my favorite kind of food. Yeah. And now that I do eat some cooked food, I'll make soups, vegetable soups. And that's very satisfying. Usually when I have a lot of stuff left in the refrigerator at the end of the week, extra carrots or celery and onion and whatever, I just throw all that into a pot with water and a bunch of seasonings, and I make a really nice soup for that. And I do like eating soup now. So raw, I think, is the best way. I think it's better for anyone's digestion. But for right now, when I started eating cooked food, I'm fine with it. And I don't know, maybe I'll go back to all raw because I loved it and felt great, but I feel really good now. So we'll see how that changes. Vegan forever, raw or cooked. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So since we were mentioning about your recipe books, I would love for you to share where can people find them and where can people find other of your work if they want to be coached or something, if you could share. And I will, of course,
Okay.
put all the links also in the description and in the
Okay.
comment. Yeah.
Well, I have a website, and that's where I sell my books, and it'll tell you about them. And there's also a bunch of free recipes on there that you can go look at the recipes and try some of those. And that's youngonrawfood.com. That's the website, youngonrawfood.com. And then I have an Instagram page. I have two of them. One is Young on Raw Food, Mimi Kirk, and that is where I talk about food and post things about that. And sometimes a good product, something for my skin that I think is good. I will occasionally take a sponsorship from somebody if it's something I've used for a while and like it. And that page is, I do a lot on stories and Instagram. And then I have Mimi Kirk _art. And that's where I have my art. And every month or so, I drop some new art. And it's been selling very well. I'm very excited. I've shipped all over the world, to Dubai, to Amsterdam. I've shipped everywhere already. And so I'm so happy that people like my art. And I feel it's happy, because when I'm painting, I'm so happy. I feel my art is very happy. It just comes from inside. I don't even know I'm painting it, actually. When I'm painting, I look back at it and it's like, you know, it just kind of comes out of me. And that's the way my writing has been. So those are the places. And I do have a Facebook page. But I'm more active on Instagram, I think, on stories and like that. And then that's a good place to reach me. And then I do private coaching for people. Not just on food, it's on lifestyle. And so I take a couple clients a month. That's all I do. And I usually have 4 sessions with them, 2 to 4 sessions. And, you know, I'm a busy person with doing that. And I love to do it because I do think that I can help people. My feeling now is that it's easy for me to say, I'm very happy. I'm at this age and I inspire people. All I'm doing is living my life and making myself happy. And it's inspiring other people, because people get worried about getting older. They think it's kind of like over, but it isn't. Everything is exciting still. And to meet my boyfriend at the age of 64, when most people have given up about anything, I've got this terrific life and very close with my family. We get together and we are always together at holidays. And my daughters call me 20 times a day. No kidding. We talk all the time. There's just no reason to stop living a full life. Just because you're older doesn't mean that you don't have to do that. Everything's available. I still have hopes and dreams and things I want to do. And I think you need to do that. I think it's very important to have something that you feel passionate about. It doesn't matter what it is. It's if you're passionate about something and you wake up every day and you're excited to do that, that I think keeps you young. I really think that works. I know for me, it does. It keeps me feeling very young, that I just love painting and I love cooking and, you know, being with my friends. Those are all really exciting things. And I want to mention a couple things, because people always ask me, can you drink wine? Well, I don't, but you can. I mean, you just can't overdo it. A couple glasses a week, 1 glass a night. I think that's perfectly fine if people want that. Coffee, I don't drink coffee. I drink green tea or some kind of herbal tea. And but if you want to have a little coffee, have it. Life is not to be a struggle, it's to be enjoyed. So don't be tough on yourself. Let's say one day you eat something you know is not good for you. Don't make a bad energy over it. Just say, I'm going to eat that today and it's going to do me some good. And the next day you go back and you eat healthy. So don't be hard on yourself. Should not be rigid in life. You should be able to flow and do things that you love, and go gradually when you change your eating habits, or go overnight. It just depends. If you're sick, you should do it as quickly as possible. If not, start trying things and start moving in the right direction. You know, take one step at a time. I never think people should rush or feel pushed into anything. I think it's very good to just enjoy yourself in life. You know, if you want a piece of cake one day, have a piece of cake. You know, if you want a piece of chocolate one day, have a piece of chocolate. There's lots of good things for you. And by the way, my chocolate is, I use raw cacao powder, and I put that in the blender with some almond milk and a little maple syrup as my sweetener choice. And I've got myself a chocolate drink, and that's healthy. That's actually antioxidants and very healthy for you. So you're not without, and raw desserts are so fabulous. You are not without delicious food if you're a vegan. Plenty of great things out there. So I really recommend it for anybody at any age, is to start cleaning up your diet, take good care of your skin, wash your face twice a day, use sunscreen, all that stuff. Really, you know, you got to get a good one that's not a chemical, but you have to take care of yourself. You have to brush your teeth twice a day. You have to see your dentist every year. You need to go for a blood test every year. You don't have to listen to everything your doctor tells you, but you need to find out if there's anything wrong so you can nip it in the bud. So I believe in those things. I believe you have to do that all the time. I get massages every 3 weeks. You know, I go to acupuncture. I do all the things that I need to do that I think are going to keep my body healthy. And mostly having a positive attitude and food, or I would say, and exercise. Those are the 3 top things. The best clean food, organic, positive thinking. And the other thing is every day when I wake up and when I go to sleep at night, I go close my eyes and I go through my body and talk to my cells, because your cells regenerate or degenerate. And they're always changing over. You've got trillions of cells in your body, and they change every 5 months in your stomach, your heart, you know, every 7 months, whatever the time period is. There's always things changing over. And it's not, they say, your genes that determine how long and healthy you live. It's your cells. And there's a book called Biology of Belief. And so biologists have come up with the fact that it's your cells. So I have a little conversation with them, tell them how much I appreciate the hard work they're doing to keep me healthy. And I feel they respond to me. I do. I feel like a little vibration from them. So that's one thing that I like to do that might sound weird to somebody, but it makes me feel very positive, and it makes me feel like just put good energy into my body. So these are all the things I do to stay, you know, lively and 83 years young.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Well, I definitely believe that, you know, it's not even belief, I know it, that, you know, you can talk to yourself, regenerate them, and the power is in you. And like, you know, if you have a beautiful inner world, that's it, that's all you need. And everything outside, like, you know, manifests in the most beautiful ways, in just because you have, and you, like, you know, you mentioned so much energy in the, you know, as we talk. And that's all that is. If you can have a loving energy, well, everything's sorted. Universe is just like boom, 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 you know, taking care of
Exactly. Exactly. No, it does. It all comes from inside. And when you take care of that and you respect that in yourself, it just blossoms everywhere in your body. It changes the way you look. It changes the way your body is carried. You carry your body. It changes everything, because there's a respect you have for yourself. It's your temple. You know, this is your temple. When you have that respect for yourself, then you don't want to do anything that's harmful to yourself. And then it's very easy to stay on a clean diet. It's very easy to exercise because you love yourself and you respect yourself. And that's very important. A lot of people don't have that. I think women have problem with that. And you have to work on that. You have to fall in love with yourself and respect yourself. And I mean, just the way you look. I think the women who get too much Botox and fillers and face work and stuff, they're not working on this inside about who they are. They're doing the physical stuff. Maybe that makes them feel better for a while, but this is going to change again. We are going to change. You have to accept you're not going to be 20 forever. You're going to be 50 and then 80 before you know it. We have to accept that our body changes. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, the alternative is to die young. If you don't want to worry about how you look when you're older, then you got to leave the planet early on. If not, just let it go and enjoy who you are. And you have to feel beautiful inside, because that's what counts. It's really, I think when I see people, I see their heart. I see this part of who they are, not anything else, not the color of their skin, not the facial things, not what they're wearing. I see the energy. And that's what I see in people. And I think that's what we have to work on, is that with ourselves, is this kind, loving energy. And I think kindness is very important. And I think we're missing that right now in the world. There's so much going on that's not so happy and pretty negative. And it's hard to believe that there are still those people out there that are violent and all of that. But even with that, as long as you keep the positive energy, you're helping change the planet by your good energy. We need everybody to have good energy right now, because it's collective energy that's going to help heal everything. Let's overpower the ugliness and stay positive and happy and fun-loving and free, so we can help the planet in general. I think that's important.
Yeah,
So
definitely. What we do with our consciousness is what is shaping the human consciousness and the planetary consciousness, and this is what we are here to do,
yes,
right?
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, to vibrate in love and joy. If we
Yes,
can do that, that's enough.
that is your job.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. Yeah, yeah,
And
I agree.
that's what heals us as well, right? That's what gives
Yes,
us direction. Yeah,
yes, yes, I think that's what heals. And Mother Earth needs us right now,
yeah,
it needs the women energy,
yeah,
basically, to
yeah,
help heal. And
yeah,
so it's important that we think that way, that we think positive and that we wake up thinking positive. And every time you have a negative thought, you're putting out that in the energy around you. So you have to get rid of that. Zip up negative words to yourself about yourself. So many people say negative things about themselves all the time. Oh, I'm not lucky. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, this doesn't look good. That doesn't. Zip it up, because it's harming not just you, it's harming everything around you. So you don't need to be negative about yourself. Stop it.
yeah,
Stop saying
yeah.
negative things about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm so with you, it's, I think just being able to think for the higher good can help you like thrive so much in life, because, it can motivate you because you're doing it for the planet, and that love that emanates
Exactly.
out of you for the planet. Wow, man,
It,
that's the, driving force.
it is, definitely is. So, and
Did
you're
you?
living that way. Your lifestyle is that way. It looks like you've moved to somewhere where you can actually practice all these things
Yeah,
that you believe without distractions. And that's pretty awesome to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, we're living off the grid and we're growing our own food forest, and I live without internet, and then the earth, I'm building earth structures, we're trying to be self-sustainable, and we're raw vegans and mostly fruitarians, so all these, and then building a community as well. We have a community around us to, because we need community, so all
Oh,
of these.
yes, absolutely. I think it's
Yeah,
really beautiful. I think that's a great thing to do. It's something I wanted to do years ago. I almost moved to a commune with my kids at the time because I thought I wanted to be in that kind of community. And they go, no, no, we don't want to leave yet. So I figured I can't pull them out of school and make them, change upheave their life. They lost their dad. I didn't want to do anything more. So I didn't do it then. And several times in my life, I've always thought I was going to move off the grid, several times. uh, because I believed that the environment needed help and I wanted to be part of that. I had an environmental newspaper and I thought, you have to simplify life. You can't be using all this technology and all this electricity and all this stuff. You have to simplify. So I moved off to New Mexico and lived very quietly there for a while. And then all of a sudden I had some ideas and they came forth and I'm back in the world. But now I know it's important for me to be here. What I'm doing now, being out
yeah,
here like I am, I really feel like this is my calling right now, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And the food thing in
certainly.
when I
Yeah,
became a public person in at the age 70, really, I won a contest put on by PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, as the sexiest vegetarian over 50. What a funny thing, sexiest vegetarian over 50. I was already a raw vegan.
oh.
And then I started becoming very popular and people started to follow me and my Facebook grew and I was a public person. That was it. And then people said, write a book, write a book. So then I wrote a book and luckily I got it published. And then that was it. Then now it's 7 books I've done. I won't write any more books. I'm done with the book writing now because I think what I have out there is very good. I'm still promoting those books because I think they've helped a lot of people. And I get wonderful feedback and letters from people that I don't even know. Every once in a while, they say, we've been following you for years. You've brought our families to good health. And it's so rewarding to hear that people have looked at what I do and it's made them want to do that for themselves. So I really feel like I've accomplished what I've always wanted to do in life, is make a difference in people's lives. I feel like I've done that and I will continue to do that until my last breath, I'm sure. But just to know that now, that my books will live on, my paintings will live on, I'm leaving things behind for people and I'm helping people while I'm here. And that's such a good feeling. It really is. And I feel very blessed that this has happened for me, that I have this amazing life. And I am filled with love for my family and they feel that way about me. And what more can you ask for? I mean, I always feel very sad when people tell me they don't talk to their parents or they don't talk to their kids. And if that's anybody hears this, if that's where you're at, you need to change that. There's nothing that should hold you back. Don't be afraid to work on it and to bring yourself together with your family. Your DNA is out there, and I know how it is to have my family so close, and I feel that anybody has to work on it if it's not right. So just do what you can to bring your family together. Family, and your family could be not your blood. Family could be friends that become your family. That's the same thing, and you need to get that around you. So I think that's important. So
You're very, very inspiring. I cannot tell you, it's like how my heart feels, and like I'm just like making notes in my head, like, okay, she said this and this and this, and I have to make sure that I follow it. It's amazing. It's really like how beautiful you are. It's amazing. So
well, it sounds
since
like
you
you're
mentioned-
doing amazing. For a young person, it sounds like you're doing amazing stuff on your own. Your energy is great, and the way you're living is making such a difference in the world. And
Oh,
I think that's really
thank you.
important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have just a few more questions. One second. So
Yes.
Since you mentioned about like juices, do you also suggest cleanses for people? I'm on the
Yes.
day 18 of my juice fast today.
Yeah, no, I think cleanses are really good, and people have to decide how long they want to do it. If you are a meat eater and you want to do a cleanse, you do not go into this without some support in some way or some program in some way, because your body's detoxifying when you go into a cleanse, and you're going to need some support with it. You want to do it the right way. There is a right and a wrong way. I have three in my juice book. I have three different ways to cleanse. A short one, like a 3-day, maybe you do it for a couple, 3 days, you're fine. If you want to do a longer one, then you need a bit more experience. So it's best to test it. And you can do short juices throughout the day. That's one of my programs where you don't drink a big juice. The others, you'll drink maybe 7 or 8 juices throughout the day, and they're larger ones. So there's different ways to do it. And some of the easy ones, you can do a soup, like a juice soup, I call it. You can even warm it. So, and on a cold day, you can still do a cleanse, and you make your juice, a green juice, and you put it in a pan and you warm it, not like a baby bottle, not so it gets cooked, because you want to keep it raw. And you warm it and you drink that like you would a tea or something. And you're getting all that nutrients from the juice soup, which I think is a great idea for anybody to have. So no, I think cleansing is important. I don't think you have to do it every month if you've been eating a healthy diet for a long time. But if you even do it for a couple of days every month, and this intermittent fasting thing is a great thing to do. And you only eat for a certain part of the day, and then you stop eating. And then like 7 hours, 8 hours, you eat within that time, and then you don't eat the rest of the time. The rest of the time you leave your stomach rest. I think that's very important, because the other thing is we need our nutrients, but we don't need as much food as we think. And don't worry about protein. You're getting it. I eat seeds and nuts. I've never been told I'm protein deficient. I've been on this way of eating for so long. I'm not protein deficient, people. Don't worry about your protein so much. It's in everything. Hemp seeds have protein. Your nuts have protein. Your vegetables have protein. If you're eating this good diet, you won't need to do that. The only time I would take any supplement is when I go to the doctor and get a blood test. And then they'll tell me your vitamin K is a little low. You should take that, or your vitamin D is low. So then I take a supplement for a while, and then I don't have to take it, because I build it up and now I'm good again for another year, and then the next time I go, it's fine. And then maybe another time it's not. So that's why I believe in blood tests and being checked, because you want to make sure that you're doing things right. And you don't want to pop a bunch of supplements when you don't need them. Don't take extra things you don't need. Try to do things for your food rather than, a supplement. Try to look and see what I need some spinach for iron. This is really cruciferous vegetables are great for cancer prevention. Look and see what you need to eat in that way. And I just think that's why I say that juicing or making a smoothie, even a smoothie, you can't put as much in. With juice, you need a lot. I make a big bowl of vegetables that I juice for 2 glasses, glasses, one for my boyfriend and I, jars of juice. And so you need more vegetables when you're juicing, less vegetables when you're making a smoothie, but that's still good. The smoothie is still good to have. And you can put coconut water in it, almond milk, green tea, anything for the liquid, and then just grind up those vegetables. And, that's really terrific. And I think eating a lot of salads are really great for you. and you want to chew your food really well because that makes your enzymes. The saliva and the food makes the enzymes. And after 30, you don't make any new enzymes. That's why people have a lot of digestive problems. So there's a lot to learn. And that's one reason I wrote my books. Live Raw, my first book, has all that information in there, how to go about changing over. And you can look at a little description on my website of each of the books and figure out what is the right book for you. And if it's bought off my website, I sign them. And sometimes I have a little gift I send, a little jewelry gift that's something I've manufactured. And depending on where you live, sometimes it's better getting it off of Amazon because the shipping is better. But anywhere in the United States, we can ship easily. We ship abroad, but it's better for people if they're going to a different site, if they're abroad, to buy the books. But I usually sell them cheaper than Amazon or give the best price possible. So you need a little help on that. And oh, by the way, the other thing is I have tons of free recipes on YouTube. You can YouTube. I just did a juice recipe, a detox and a slimming juice recipe that's really good with beet and celery and cucumber and lemon and orange juice and ginger. It's a really delicious drink. So you can go and look at my juice, Mimi Kirk detoxifying juice. Look at that recipe. But I have a lot of food recipes on there. So those are free. You can just go get those off of there and try some dishes and see how they work. And yeah, the food is delicious and the drinks are so good for you. The juice is so good for you. So I recommend it highly.
Awesome, awesome. I have two more questions for you. So number one is, how do you take care of your hair? Because it's so beautiful. And, you know, your teeth as well. I think that is one problem that, you know, people usually face a lot. And next I will ask after you, you know.
Yeah, that definitely is something. Well, my hair is much thinner than it is. Sometimes when people go on a raw food diet, they say, oh my God, I'm losing my hair. But what happens when you do, it comes back even fuller. It just, something happens where you are losing maybe dead hair and it comes back fuller. My hair definitely has thinned out since since I've aged. I've never taken estrogen. I never took anything through menopause. I don't take anything. And I'm not sure if that is why, but most people my age don't even have eyebrows anymore. They don't have hair or eyebrows.
Yeah.
So I really think my diet has
amazing.
kept my health up. And it's just since the pandemic that I started letting the gray grow out. See up here, the gray is coming in. And I've always made my hair blonde before, but now I'm leaving it out to be natural because I don't want to color my hair anymore. I wasn't ready before to do it. I like my blonde hair. And I have dark hair naturally, but I made it blonde because the gray was showing through after a while. But now I'm letting it go gray, and I'm very happy about that. Just letting it grow out by itself, so the ends are still blonde and gray. So here's a little trick with hair that I think is really important. You should have a round hairbrush, and don't wash your hair every day like some people do. You should leave your hair go for a week. It's fine. But what you want to do is get the oils from your scalp to the ends of your hair. So you take the hairbrush and you scrape your scalp with the brush, and then you pull it through to the end. So you're taking the natural oil from your scalp and pulling it right through to the ends of your hair. Your hair will change. Wow. If it gets frizzy, it'll stop getting frizzy because you don't need outside oil on your hair. You just need it from your scalp to come down. Yeah. And within the week, that's when your oils start to come back. Every time you wash your hair, you're taking the oils out of your hair. So if you wash your hair too often, you're going to have dry hair. So that's my recommendation. Just take your brush and kind of scrape your scalp and pull it through. And I put my head over and I do it all over a few times a week. And that's what I do for my hair. So I think that's one of the little hints to keep your hair, you know, lubricated and feeling soft, and, you know, keeping the ends as moist as possible and all of that. And I have my teeth cleaned every 3 months, every 4 months at the latest. I brush them. I use a mouthwash. I use a water pick for my gums. I use floss. I do not neglect my mouth. That is one thing that I think you can't, one of the things that you if you're going to replace them with other teeth that aren't yours, that's what's going to happen if you don't take care of your mouth. But you need to go to the dentist and have your mouth checked, because you can't tell, even if you're good taking care of it, you can't tell what's going on. Sometimes plaque forms on there that you cannot get off yourself. So you need to go get cleanings. Don't be afraid. Most people every 6 months is good, but I go more often. Make sure that my gums stay healthy and everything. And then when you're eating this diet, I think it's very good for everything in your mouth and your hair. I think it's very good. So no hormones for me.
Yeah.
You know, I
you've
know a
been
lot of
going-
people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I think a lot of people, when they go through menopause, they start taking hormones, you know, bioidentical and stuff. I don't have any problem. I was very late having menopause. I was 58 and having menopause. And I had some hot flashes and I went for acupuncture. That's all I did. I treated everything naturally. And then I've never done anything else, but I don't probably have estrogen in my body anymore, but it doesn't seem to affect me. And rather than take calcium pills, I walk every day and I do exercise in order to just use my natural ability of my body to heal myself of anything that I have. So, but do get checked up. I recommend it. Don't just be your own doctor and say, I'm never going. I don't believe in the doctor. Just go get a blood test. That's all you have to do. And then you can decide when they tell you what you need to do for yourself. You don't have to take the pills if they want to give them to you. You can decide what you need to do, but you need to get checked. You can't just, you know, you just have to have someone look at some of the things you can't tell in yourself. Just especially if you're vegan and you're eating fruit or something, you just need to go get checked once a year. It's no big deal. So.
Yeah. And you've been taking care of your teeth like this for a long time, or was it in your later part of your life that you did that?
No, I've always been pretty careful about my teeth. No, I've been very good with my teeth. I didn't go cleaning but once a year in the beginning, but then as I got older, I started to do it more often because there was a time when I moved to a new city. I moved here to San Diego from New Mexico, and I didn't have a dentist for over a year. Bless you. I didn't have a dentist for over a year, and I can tell that my teeth, my gums, and everything, my mouth had changed. So yeah, I've tried to take care of my teeth forever.
Okay, so amazing. There is this one last question. Okay, since you mentioned about your boyfriend so much and you have this amazing relationship, and you know, what is the tip that you would like to give to people for having beautiful relationships?
Well, first of all, you have to find a kind person who thinks like you do, who's kind to other people. That's really important. And then you have to know that whoever you're with, don't try to change anybody. Let them be who they are. If it doesn't work for you, then you need to do something else, get someone else. But don't try to tell somebody they have to be different. Like you marry somebody. I'm not married. We just live together. I don't need to get married. I have my children, and it's nothing I need to do. So I don't get married. But if marriage or no marriage, if you're in a relationship with anybody and you're going to try to change them because you don't like things about them, then you run into trouble. You just need to accept people. They'll learn things from you and you'll learn things from them. And the things that maybe your good qualities they'll pick up, and maybe you'll pick up their good qualities. But if you try to change somebody or you're annoyed at things they do, everybody does things a different way. You're not going to find someone, how boring if he was just like you and did everything just like you. You know, yes, there are things that I would like my boyfriend to be different in. Oh, why does he do this or that? But once you let that go, it doesn't bother you anymore. And you stop picking on things this is not where you should put your attention. Worry about yourself and what you need to do to make yourself better. What you want to do is be the kind of person that you want to be. And if someone is around you, they'll pick up on those things if that's what they want to do. And that's how we've kept our relationship. He doesn't tell me what to do. He allows me my freedom. He lets me, you know, if I'm going into LA to see my kids or something, I do that. Sometimes he comes in, but sometimes not. We just seem to get along. And I think before you're in a relationship, you have to discuss the serious things. Like, are we going to have a baby? Are we going to get a dog? What are we going to do about our money? You need to talk that out before you live with somebody and before you're in a serious relationship. How are we going to divide everything as we live together? How are we going to do that? Well, that's basic stuff you need to straighten out before. But once you're in the relationship, just leave that person alone. Let them be who they are. I want to be who I am. I want, you know, if I'm not doing something right and he's going to give me corrective criticism, that's perfect. But you have to be very careful about that, criticizing anybody or giving them, even if it's corrective criticisms, you have to be very careful. So don't try to change people. I think that's the biggest thing. And don't expect them to give you all your happiness. If you don't have something from that other person and you love that person, whatever you don't have, try to find that somewhere else. and try to find a girlfriend that you go to lunch with if he doesn't like to go out to lunch, those kinds of things. I don't mean find another person for your intimacy. I just mean, for that. I believe in monogamy. I believe in intimacy with one person. But I think that everything else, you can't expect them to do everything just like you. And you find out what you do good and you find out what he does good. Like, I hate finance. I hate handling money. I just don't like it. I just don't work for money. I don't, I paint because I love it and I sell my paintings that great. I just don't have an interest in money, although I need it and I need to make money. But he handles all of that for me, and he doesn't cook. So I get to cook for him. So we have a great exchange about things we've figured out that he can help me with and I can help him with. And that seems to work really, really well. And not everything is all right 24/7. People get into things when you're together a long time. Then it's something, if you're pulling apart because of some argument or something, then you have to just realize, I love that person. We can sit down and talk about it. And never say anything in the heat of anger to somebody that's damaging. You never say to someone, well, you're just fat, or your teeth are crooked, or anything that's going to hurt them, permanently. Fair fighting. Don't call names and don't do things that are going to hurt somebody later, because you're going to make up and now they're going to carry this negativity around because you put that on them. So I think fair fighting is good. And just remember, you love that person and you're just trying to work out the differences without having an argument, and to talk about it and without having an argument. No voice raising, no leaving the room. Just sit there and say, how do we figure this out? We both think differently about this subject. What do we do to work this out? And so some way that all comes together, because coming from love all the time seems to heal things. Coming from fear or anger doesn't work. But when you come from love, you can work things out. And being kind, that's, I think, very important in any relationship. Respect is vital, that to respect the person you're with and to feel respected. Those are very important things. And, people change and we're not alike. We all grew up differently. We all have different ideas. We all have different things that we want to do. He can't have all the hopes and dreams I have. He has his own. And I think just supporting someone to be their best is probably the best way to keep a good relationship. Let them be their best self and you be your best self. And don't try to make them like you. What's the point? Because don't want two of me around. I'm enough to handle.
Yeah, certainly. So actually, if you're up for it, I would like to, do another podcast with you where you could just share about how to have great relationships. So
okay.
So I'll write
Good.
to you after. Yeah, amazing. Because I think there's so much that, we can learn. I already feel like your energy is amazing. And then, I don't know, I vibrate with it so much. And I think it can really, really help a lot of people. So I would like to put out your message a lot more. And even for myself, I think I just feel so like I've received so much already, in this conversation.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just with who you are, it's difficult to express, but I hope you get it. So what is one last message that you would like to put out for the viewers for this interview today?
Oh, just go look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you.
Oh my God, amazing. Yeah.
Some people can't do that, by the way.
I did that.
Some people cannot do that.
Yeah.
They can't look at themselves in the mirror and say, I love you, but give yourself a minute, look in those eyes and say, I love you. Which reminds me of a funny little thing that's happening. There's been a little bird at my window for a full week now, and he sees himself in the reflection, and he perches on something, and he just looks at himself for the longest time. And at first I thought he was coming there because it's mating season for birds right now. And he's looking for a safe home because he's going to find a mate and then come and move somewhere on the trees or something. That's what I was thinking. But this little bird will he'll sit on a perch that's right across the window and just look at himself. I think he's just in love with himself. I think that's what the idea is. So you do have to be like that little bird and look in the mirror and be able to say, I love you. And because when you love somebody, you take good care of that other person. But sometimes you don't take as good care of yourself as you take care of the person you love. So you have to treat yourself like someone you love. That would be the important message. Treat yourself like someone you love. And if a friend came to you and said they had a problem, what would you tell that friend? That's what you tell yourself. So be kind to yourself.